The product line Seacret was created in 2005. What they did was they brought in all of the managers of their kiosks. At this time, they have a couple hundred kiosks all over the world. And they bring in a couple hundred managers, and they have a convention in Phoenix, Arizona for all the managers, and they say, guys, we're so excited. We finally have our own company. And everyone's excited because they were like, and it's not, we didn't make it, as in, we the family, we made it. The community made Seacret because people would see their scent was one of the scents that was used. And when somebody saw the exfoliator that had the skin rub off right there on the spot, they were like, that was my idea. So it was this community project that created the product line of Seacret. So everyone felt so much ownership and pride in what it is that they were doing, and they were so excited. Now, here's where things got crazy for me when I was hearing this story. They brought all the managers in, a couple hundred of them at that time. They have a couple hundred kiosks. And what they do is they tell all their managers, that were running locations, they said, look guys, in order for us to focus on the brand and the development and the manufacturing of building these amazing products for us to be able to deliver and new products for us to introduce in the marketplace, that needs to be our 100% focus. So we're giving you the business. Now, what? Basically, managers on that day became owners. Go to the back, your contracts are there, the carts are yours. You own them. No cost. You helped us build this empire. It's your business now. Run with it. You know how to manage it. You know how to lead it. Such a wealth mentality instead of a scarcity mentality like so many business owners have. Because it was going to be a massive decrease in income for the company as far as profits, of course, because now they have all these owners, because now they're just basically wholesaling products to these cart owners that are now running them in the malls. Now, they got so excited in the ownership of it that most of them that had 1 or 2 carts opened 2 or 3 more carts the next year. So the company even made more money in 2005. They went from doing about $40 million a year to over $100 million a year almost overnight. Crazy. They went from 200 kiosks to 400 kiosks to 600 kiosks to, at their peak points in season, for it's obviously holiday seasons, over 1,000 kiosks across the world at points.
Seacret's outstanding growth since 2005 also brought on some challenges, mainly manufacturing. The manufacturer in Israel simply couldn't keep up with the demand. So in looking for a new manufacturer, Seacret was approached by a little company you may be familiar with, L'Oreal. Now, I knew L'Oreal the brand, but I didn't know much about the company. Founded in 1909, the L'Oreal Group has become the world's largest cosmetic and beauty company with over $20 billion a year in revenue and employing over 60,000 people all over the world. What shocked me is how many brands L'Oreal owns and manufactures, like Redken, Matrix Essentials, Pureology, Lancome, Giorgio Armani, Diesel, Ralph Lauren, Shuamura, Maybelline, and The Body Shop, just to name a few. Over 100 L'Oreal products worldwide are purchased every second. Now what's really interesting is L'Oreal has one of their largest manufacturing plants in Israel, and they've been researching the Dead Sea for over a decade. They just hadn't created a skincare line from it yet. So in 2010, L'Oreal begins manufacturing for Seacret, and with it they bring their experience, knowledge, scientists, technology, and over a decade worth of research on the Dead Sea. But for the first time in the history of L'Oreal, they make a manufacturing agreement in partnership with a company and a brand they don't own. So with their manufacturing crisis averted, Seacret's future is looking incredibly bright. Now let's take you back to the live event.
And so with this being excited, having the best scientists, the best technology in skincare, anti-aging, our green line that was really transformed at this period of time, the best peptides, all the best manufacturing and science. So this is really when nature meets science creates Seacret. And then at this time, it's like, let's go to the next level, because 100 million a year is great, but 1 billion is better. So how do we do that? Now the idea at the time with this amazing manufacturing and basically unlimited manufacturing abilities was to go from carts into stores. Now some of you guys are like, well, why would you? Well, think about it. If you take a look at the biggest companies in the malls, the most branded, recognizable companies on the world, most of them have stores and malls, true? The most profitable company in the world, Apple, it's an experience, right? People walk in. It doesn't feel like a sales environment. It's an environment where you get to play, and everybody, there are people that go to the Apple store just so they can play. That's an amazing brand, where people literally will come to your store to play around. And they're always busy and they're packed, and then they got the people walking around, right? So the reason why I say it is they were looking to do this. They had a plan to open 500 retail locations. A big plan. They opened up a couple pilot stores, a couple overseas, a couple here in North America, to see if it worked, and it was working well. And then a strange set of events happens, and this is where the story gets interesting. There's this young girl who got introduced to this industry at a very young age, 17, in Southern California. She gets introduced to a service company, and she gets excited, just like many of us do when we first see this, of the potential of passive residual cash. She gets started, and she builds up a business and decides to move to a different company. And she moves to Phoenix, Arizona, and she moves from a service company to a product company. From that product company, she starts building and building and building and learning and learning and learning, but things don't work out the way that she intended them to. And she had basically said, you know what, this isn't for me, or I'm just not excited anymore, it's not working. And she happened to live next to an individual that owned a Seacret kiosk. The challenge is, in order to go into the retail space to open up all these stores, they were going to have to start hiring locals, Americans, in order to fulfill and staff it. They had never done it. Now, they tried before, but it just didn't work out very well. And they didn't try very hard. It was just a language barrier, an issue. For them, when people came from Israel, they came here to make money. The mall opened at 9, it closed at 9, so people would work 12-hour days. They'd wake up, they work, and they work all day because they wanted to make as much as possible. And Americans, it was a little bit different because some of them would say, yeah, I'm going to do this, but they didn't understand the concept of shifts. That was a weird concept to them. What do you mean, what's a shift? 8 hours, but the mall's open 12. It didn't really work out the same way. So some Americans would start, but they would always quit right away. And they spent $250,000 plus on advertising, PR, like different things to try to get Americans. It didn't work, ever. You know, one of the individuals that was really successful and creative, they said, look, we need you to help find Americans to help us do this. So this young woman is like, look, network marketing is not really working out for me the way that I thought it was going to, so I need to do something. So they partner up, and she decides to start working on this kiosk. Now, the first day, crazy, this American breaks the opening day sales record for Seacret. Now, they thought it was kind of like some fluke. Oh, well, we'll see. You know, what is she doing? How is she doing it? Second day, a couple days, she was like $3,000 in sales on the kiosk. No real training, no real experience, and never doing anything like this before. $3,000. Now, they're getting paid 30% commissions on the kiosk. So she's making like $1,000 a day. Now, Israelis pride themselves on being pretty good salespeople. So her story ignites through the entire Seacret community. They're like, who is this American that's killing us? Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of Israelis that got up to $1,000, but right away at the very beginning, that was so uncommon. And she's the first American to really do it. They thought that she was like cheating or scamming or doing something. The owners of the corporation were like, you need to watch her close, whatever she's doing, watch out. People are going to be coming back the next day and returning stuff. Like, I don't want any sexual harassment suits. She's doing something wrong. Because there's like, no way, especially after everything that they've done. They're like, no, it's real, she's doing it, it's happening. So they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. We could bring her in, and she could maybe help us transition into hiring more locals. She could be the key to finding more locals to bridge into our retail store operation, to go from carts to stores in the mall. So like, this is perfect. Bring her in, let's hire her to bring her in as a trainer to help us do this. So when they bring her in, they set up this meeting. The challenge was the meeting wasn't set up on both ends the way they thought it was going to be. Because this young girl was so excited about this because she was in the mall and her experience was, I'm the most hated person in the mall. Nobody wants to stop. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to bother me. They avoid looking at me. They lied to me because they're like, sorry, I don't have time. And they'll see them go into the next store and stay for 30 minutes. What do you mean you don't have time? So like, I'm the most hated person in the mall. But the craziest thing about it was that the minute I got the salt on their hands, the minute I buffed their nail, the minute they went from hating me to purchasing. They bought it. Why? Not because I was the best salesperson. It was because the product sold them. So they went from I hate you to I want to spend hundreds of dollars in minutes. Do you guys see how powerful that is? So her thought was, if I could have had these products in living rooms and demonstrated on people and had the opportunity to create an instant result. Because in this industry, it's almost unfathomable to say, look, I'm going to give you a result you're going to love before I even ask you if you're interested. That doesn't exist with a lot of products out there. And so she was like, this would be amazing. And she got so excited about the concept because I'm sitting on the kiosk selling thousands of dollars a day with no opportunity to talk about. I can't say, oh, and by the way, we can make income. We can get rich. We can build a community. There's personal growth. There's development. There's all this stuff. I have nothing else to talk about. The only thing I get to talk about is the products. She's thinking, oh, this would be amazing. So she goes into the meeting with the concept of telling the owners that they should transition into network marketing. The owners think she's coming in to talk to her about helping them go from carts to stores. So in the meeting, they're explaining like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. Oh my God, we're hearing great things about you. The meeting starts and it sounds great in the beginning. Oh, well, where did you get your training? And she was like, oh, I got my training in network marketing. And the room shifts a little because they're like, oh, almost kind of like there's an enemy in our building, you know? Because at this time, they'd only met the negative side of the industry. They'd only heard the outside stories of some of the people that have done a lot of bad things or ruined it, or just, you know what I'm talking about, some of the negative perceptions, as a lot of people have about this industry. So they're like, oh, it's okay. All right, well, let's move past that. So they're telling her on this concept and all these things, and she's confused because she's like, wait, no, I'm here to tell you about why you should do network marketing. And they're like offended. Because they're like, network, what are you talking? Didn't you fail at 2 of those pyramid deals? Isn't that why you came and worked with us? You're kidding, right? And they're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Listen, let's change the subject here. But do you know other network marketers that are as good as you? She's like, yeah, I know a lot of them. I know a lot that are even better than me. And they're like, perfect. Go get them, and we'll save them from their horrible lives. And let them sell something real, because their perception was that network, oh, you're the people that take money from friends and family. You don't have any, you're not offering anything real, because they knew nothing about the industry. So anyway, so then all of a sudden she gets heated and she's yelling at them. So she's like, no, you don't understand. You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your community. You're going to lose your business. You're going to lose everything if you go into stores. Now, you got to remember that. So here's CEOs that are running over $100 million a year plus business all around the world. And here's this girl, this teenager, yelling at them in their boardrooms when they're trying to offer her probably the opportunity of a lifetime to be a trainer for their company. And she's like, no, you're going to lose everything. And the thing is they weren't really listening to what she was saying, but she was so passionate about it that it resonated, it hit. Because when you have a message and you really believe in it and you say it loud enough, people will listen. And even if they don't listen right away, it sticks with them. So she's telling him, it's like, you're going to lose your community, which for them was everything. The community that they had, what they built their entire business on. And so she's like, what do you mean use your community? It's like, look, your biggest strength is the traffic in the middle of the aisle. The minute you go into stores, you lose the traffic. What if they don't walk in? Not only that, once you go into retail stores, you have to change up your entire business model. Because when you have the cart, you pay a little rent to the mall, but other than that, all the profits stay in your company. The minute you go into stores, you have to compete with all the other big dudes. You have to start advertising. You think Apple, if they could, would pay 30%? They can't pay 30% commissions. That's not how the business model works. You know how much the rent is to have a store in a mall? Advertising, overhead, employees, you got to go to $10 an hour. You lose your community. The wealth leaves your group. And you have to give it to all these other people that take pieces of it. So she's telling them you're going to lose your community, you're going to lose everything. It's silly. Plus, retail's going down. Internet sales are going up. Networking worldwide. This industry's amazing if it's done right. And she's hammering them. And they're like, but they leave the meeting mad. They're like, I can't believe this girl. Because she was outrageous. But the problem was she was so over the top that the seeds were planted. And so they were looking at it going, you know what? She's right. How did we miss that? And so they start researching this industry. And they realize that it's an amazing industry when it's done correctly. The challenge is the promise of the industry has not been delivered for a long period of time. Network marketing. What is it? Network marketing is there to say consumers aren't stupid. They don't need to be sold. They'll purchase when they find something they like. The promise of the industry was say, look, products are made, then they're wholesaled, then they're retailed. The end consumer that's purchasing at retail is paying a huge premium because of all these places in between that profit gets chopped up. So basically what they're saying is that network marketing was a way for a company to say, look, we can deliver products direct sales, directly to a consumer, cut out all these people to where the consumer can get the products that they love for less than they could if they went to the store. That's the promise of the industry. And then there's enough money to do that to pay the people that refer business to the company. That's the concept. So it's a brilliant concept. So how did it get so messed up? Because owners and distributors, because it's so easy to do, it's easy to abuse. And because most companies out there aren't actually selling or sharing a real viable product or service, they're selling you on hope and opportunity. And hope and opportunity is easy to sell. Do you want to make more money? Would you like to be able to be with your kids all the time? Would you like to be able to full-time to pursue your passions? Would you like to be financially independent? Those are yeses to all those. So most people forget the real essence of what the company's about, which is the product, and start talking about the opportunity, because the opportunity is the only way to get you interested in their product. So at the end of the day, people come into the business through the opportunity and start purchasing the product, but when the opportunity doesn't perform, they don't keep buying the product. Which is why you see so many companies that even have decent products. The challenge is not usually, a lot of times, their product. Because there are products in this industry that I think are fantastic and better than a lot of other products. The challenge is they're more expensive. So you don't even actually get to the real promise of the industry, which is to deliver a product for less than you could get it somewhere else. So Seacret, here they are. Check this out. They're looking at it and going, all right, so we have a product that retails incredibly well. We've proven that. To the point that they were looking at it over $600 million. Now over $800 million in retail sales in 40 countries all across the world, with different countries, different ethnicities, different skin types, different ages. Everybody's buying the products. Why? Because the Dead Sea doesn't discriminate. You got skin, we can fix it. So they knew they had this unbelievable retail product, and they looked at it and they said, you know what, this is amazing, because network marketing was a way for them to keep the wealth in the community. It was a way for them to still be able to pay 2/3 of the income out. It was a way to not have to go through a lot of things that we were talking about. So they get intrigued by the concept, and they start seeing individuals like Robert Kiyosaki talking about, and they research in network marketing. Oh, he's talking about network marketing. They start seeing people like Donald Trump, billionaires, getting involved in network marketing. Richard Branson getting involved in network marketing. They start seeing some of these people getting involved in the industry, and they're like, well, if they're, now here's the thing. A lot of those people were really risky investors. Now, here's what's amazing. When they made their first $1 million, remember how their original intention was going to real estate? They did. They took a lot of their capital and did very well in real estate. Very well. Invested a lot, had an amazing real estate portfolio, a real estate company that's doing incredibly well. Their mentor, a billionaire, an Israeli billionaire that was one of Isaac's mentors, he said, look, I'm in the last year of my life. Don't get me into any risky deals. Because you might have done everything right, but everybody remembers you for the last thing you did. Even if you did everything right, the last thing you did is what people remember you for. He said, I don't need to make more money. Our family's fine. We got a legacy. We've got inheritance. We got all that stuff. I don't need to make more money. Don't put me in going anything risky. Now, because how many of you guys agree Donald Trump is a risk taker, yes? So they see these people really risky, but for them, they couldn't risk it. Why? Because there were 600 families that were feeding from this business model. And they couldn't just say, all right, guys, we're going to change everything. Thanks a lot. No. It was their family, their friends, their community. So they couldn't risk doing a transition into this industry unless they knew for sure. And the thing that really changed their mind was Warren Buffett. And the reason why was because their mentor billionaire in Israel, his mentor he looked at was Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett wasn't a risky investor. He's known as one of the most conservative investors on the planet, true? One of the wealthiest people in the history of the world, yes? And in the last decade, Warren Buffett has been buying network marketing companies. Bought Pampered Chef and had the gall to say it was one of the best investments he ever made in the last quarter of his life. So they went, huh. Well, Warren Buffett's a little brighter than me, I think, in investing. And if he's buying network marketing companies, there's got to be something. Because my perception was so negative, but for somebody on that level to be participating, there's got to be something. So they start researching. And then they find out, obviously, in this industry, out of the top 10 companies in this industry, if you just go Google direct sales, Wikipedia will show you revenue of the top 10 companies in this industry, all of them are product companies. So products are the way to go. Why? Because the margins are fantastic, number one. And number two, you can export, so you can build something globally. And if you're participating in a business that's only in the United States or North America, it's like playing in the minors and you never get to graduate to the majors. Now, for those of you guys that have ever studied Major League Baseball, how many of you guys agree with me that Major League players make a little bit more than minor league players? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather tap a market of 300 million people in the United States of America or of billions of people? Obvious, right? So you can export. Plus, when you start studying, they started looking at it and they went, wow, network marketing does a little over $100 billion, almost $110 billion across the world. But only $30 billion is done in the US. That means more than 70% of the money in this industry isn't even in the US anymore. It's in Latin America, and most of it's in where? Asia. Why? Because there's a lot of Asians. Okay? So there are. You look at the most successful companies in this industry. You take a look at products, obviously, but then you take a look at skincare. Best retention in the industry. Why? Because it's not a short-term result you're looking for. Skin is something you have forever, true? Did you guys notice that no one's trying to look uglier? No one's like, man, if I could get another wrinkle, that'd be great. Acne's never in style. It's not a man or woman thing. It's not cosmetics. It's skincare. It's personal care. How many use soap? Everybody. Now, when you run out of soap, what do? Buy some more. You notice how you're never like, well, I'm just not going to do that again. So the question is, everybody's buying skincare products. Now, for me, I didn't know much about skincare, but when I started learning it, I was like, wow, this is a big industry. Plus, if you take a look at the anti-aging industry, it's outrageous, especially in the United States with the baby boomers right now that are coming in to their season. They're a third of the population. They have 2/3 of the money. And 65 is the new 35, in case you didn't know. All the baby boomers listen in and we're like, that's right. Because they want to live out their golden years and they want to look good doing it. Because the length of life people are living is much longer now. That being said, your skin, the largest organ on your body, 7 to 9 pounds on your body, your external world. People spend more money sometimes taking care of their clothes than the thing that they wear their whole life, their skin. What's amazing is taking care of it. Now, there's a few simple things. What's amazing is that's what the Dead Sea has been known for thousands of years. This isn't some new concept. So when they looked at it, could this work if we transition from our retail business to network marketing? Can we fulfill on the promise of this industry that it was supposed to? Can we deliver a product, a quality product, to the consumer for less than it was retailed? The answer to that is what? Yes, not only a little bit. They didn't just say we're going to mark it down 10%. Like some companies say, well, retail it's this much and you get it as a distributor for 10% less. They said, no. We're going to give you 50% or more off of our entire product line. And we're going to increase our payouts. So we're going to decrease the product. So they delivered on the promise of the industry where people could get a high quality product delivered directly to them because consumers didn't have to say, well, I don't have to be sold by radio and television and propaganda and all that stuff. I can decide for myself. I am an intelligent human being. If I try something and I like it, I can buy it. You don't have to go much further than that. Show it to me. If I like it, I buy it. If I don't, I won't. And what was so amazing about Seacret is the demonstration ability made it so amazing because people could take these products into living rooms and simply demonstrate and create a result for people without knowing anything about skincare. They didn't have to know anything really about anything. They didn't even have to speak the same language because people base most of their buying decisions 80% on emotion and 20% on logic. So I didn't need to know the facts. All I had to do was create an experience for them. And it was so simple with Seacret because all you had to do was demo the products. When people see the products and experience the products, their common first response is what? Wow. Wow. That is an emotional response. Wow is not a word used in language to describe anything. Like if I was telling you, man, I read this great book, and I wouldn't use it as an adjective in a sentence. I wouldn't say I was reading the book and it was such a wow ending. It was such a wow paragraph. The movie was wow. I wouldn't say it. It's an emotional response. When something happens, I see something, I experience something, I feel something, and literally my body is like, wow. It just comes out. So the emotional response when people get to feel and see it, they get that instant gratification result they see. And I don't have to convince you your nail's shiny. Look at it. I don't have to convince you your hands are softer. How do they feel? I don't have to convince you that it helped with the bag on your eye. One is gone. I don't have to convince you your wrinkles. Like, you can see it. Convince yourself. Look at your face. But here's the challenge. In the mall, most people weren't able to actually experience Seacret the way that it was really designed because most people aren't going to stop and stay for 15, 20, 30 minutes and put products on their face in the middle of the aisle. Now, here's what's crazy. I'm shocked as to how many people actually do. That's how much people want to look good because a lot of looking good is feeling good. It's not about a narcissistic approach of saying, look, I'm trying to look beautiful. That's not what we're saying. It's a part of your personal care. It's taking care of yourself. It's the same thing in fitness. You guys know when you're working out and you're doing those things, you feel better, yes? Same thing, it's taking care of yourself and taking care of your skin. So Seacret is like, you know what? Maybe this could be what we were looking for when we originally thought of going into these 500 retail locations. And they decided to test it out. And they decided to let them go into living rooms with these products. And the response was outrageous. Why? Because people wanted to purchase, obviously, because they had an amazing experience. Number one. But number two, here's the best part. People wanted to do parties even when they didn't get paid. That's crazy. And here's why. They said, look, we'll give you free products if you introduce us to people that want to buy these products. They said, I can get these products for free? What do I got to do? Invite some people over. We'll demo the products just like we demoed them on you. Great. So what happens is the product naturally networked without a compensation plan. That's when you know you got something that's outrageous. So now here they are, and they're like, I guess this is it. And so they decide to transition their entire business model from their retail business into this amazing industry of network marketing. May 2011 was the official open of the network, and from there, it's been an outrageous story. We're so excited that they made the decision to do that. And for those of you that are hearing this for the first time, we're so grateful that you found Seacret and that you have an opportunity to participate in this transition. But the crazy thing, when we took a look at Seacret, we're so excited, is that we're here with a fresh opportunity, a new opportunity, but not with a new company. We have an existing company, an existing background, global distribution, a full-scale product line, and many more products in development. Unbelievable patented technology. Our Recover is amazing, isn't it not? We could have built our whole business on that one product. And what we get to deliver is a promise to the industry that it was intended to deliver high-quality products to consumers, cheaper than before. An opportunity for them to earn great rewards and free products for simply referring it. And also an opportunity for those that would like to participate on the income side to join the community, to become an agent, and fulfill on what Seacret originally started, was a community where you don't serve the company serves you. That's how this community was founded and started from the beginning, when you transition back to the late 90s, when they asked their friends and family to come help their family. And when they came over, they said, I'm not your boss, I serve you. So here, you don't serve your leaders. Your leaders are here to serve you. And when you have that mentality, and you transition that and translate it into this industry that's so desperately been asking for people to actually come and perform the way it was intended, it's amazing what's going to be happening over the next few years, and I'm so glad you guys are going to have an opportunity to participate in it. Okay? So, now,
So who was this young American girl? None other than one of the partners and founders of Seacret Direct, Miss Betty Perez. Call it coincidence, luck, or divine intervention, but if it wasn't for Robert Marovich, the individual who owned the kiosk in Phoenix, Arizona, giving this young American girl a shot to sell, and her blowing the records out of the water, and then masterminding with her business partner, Hayden Daughters, on how amazing it would be to take these demonstratable products into this industry and do it the right way, and then having the tenacity to these three amigos going to the owners of Seacret and standing strong in what they believed in, that people out there like myself and like you were just looking for the right vehicle, home, and community to be able to build their future and their dreams, none of us would have this opportunity. And so I will be forever grateful to our founders and partners of Seacret Direct, Betty Perez, Robert Marovich, and Hayden Daughters. Now that you understand that network marketing is the business of the 21st century in this information age, and the background of where Seacret came from, the foundation that we have an opportunity to build our future on, it's easy to get excited about where you sit. But before we go into the systems behind building your Seacret business, we want to make sure you understand what separates us from everything else that's out there. Because I'm sure a lot of you have already been approached by lots of different things out there and will be in the future. And so we want you to understand why Seacret is the premier company inside of this industry, so you can stand up proud to represent this company and have that posture and confidence to say, I am a Seacret agent and you should be too. And I can't think of a better person to illustrate this than somebody I respect for not just their knowledge on Seacret, but this entire industry as a whole. Let's go back to Joseph Valenzuela at our live event.